Hi, thank you for joining. How is everybody? Is it raining where you are? Hi, Stephen. Stephen, I just tried to private message you, but I'm not given the option. It says I can't. Thank you for joining. Hi, Bob. Thanks for joining. Bob says, hi, Lisa. Where did Stephen go? One moment he was there and he was gone. Do you mean John? Stephen's here in my live. Hi, David. Thanks for joining. David says, hi, Lisa. Dry here at the moment. Oh, you got cut off. On YouTube. Bob says it could have been John. Wasn't live long enough. He's gone. It was his first live, Bob. It's very nerve-wracking when you first go live. But he's going to join this live. He's heading home via the supermarket. He says it'll be half an hour and then he'll join us. Stephen says it suddenly went private video. Probably because he went off. Oh, and it's still processing, so it's not actually live on his account as yet to watch. But unless, I don't know, unless he got cut off. But I know he has gone. Stephen says he was doing well. He was doing really well. Yes. You know, I remember the first time I went live. It's nerve-wracking. It's worse than making a video. A video takes so long. Really, a live is easy now. Oh, now I know what I'm doing. But when you first start, a live is so stressful. It's hard to explain. So, it's pouring with rain. And I thought, I have been filming. I was filming earlier at Reedham. And then John messaged me and he said, I think I might go live. I said, yes, do it. Go for it. You have to do it when you feel in the mood, you know, when you feel the time's right and feel the mood is right. So I said, yeah, do it. I said, I'm going to quickly drive to get better reception, signal. And then I would join his live, which is what I did. Just trying to take my jacket off. Stephen says, I remember your first live, it was fine. Oh, thank you, Stephen. It is your Mr. Phil. Bonjour. Thank you for joining in this marvellous, marvellous sunny spring day. Bit soggy today, says Mr. Phil. Just a bit. Just a bit. Bob says we had the rain yesterday, now we've got sunshine. Well, that's good. I hope we've got sunshine tomorrow. Marion's joined. Marion says, hi, Lisa. Nipping in for a bit. Thank you for joining us, Marion. Mr. Phil says the rain here's just paused for lunch, I think. Well, it hasn't got the memo here to pause for lunch. Marion says, is that real rain or an April Fool with a hose pipe? Oh, I wish it was a hose pipe. Yeah, really, somebody's got a watering can. Oh, of course, Mr. Phil. He says different time zones as he's in Suffolk. Of course it's a different time zone. Marion says, in case you don't know, it's a name change. I'm Asti. Oh. Oh, I'll never remember that. No, of course I will. I'll try my hardest. How are you? Lukey's Wild World. He says, dry and 90 degrees in Suffolk. Well, yes. I'm not the least bit surprised. Mr. Phil says, right angles. Enlighten me, Mr. Phil. Marion says, I'm good, thanks. That's good to hear. It's lovely to see you here. Stephen says it just started chucking it down with rain here. I like to share, Stephen. I like to share. So, Stephen, am I able to message you that information or not? Well, it's easy. I'll just say Stalham. That'll be easier to say like that. Because other than Bob, nobody knows what we're chatting about. David says it's overcast here. It's heading your way, I reckon, David. I don't fancy this all day. I'm going to share it out. Mr. Phil says it's a very good picture today. Thank you, Mr. Phil. Stephen says should be able to. Haven't changed anything my end. Yeah, I thought it was strange, but it definitely said I couldn't message you. Mr. Phil says, no, Bob says, sorry Bob, Bob says it has crept up the country from here. We'll be in Scotland tomorrow. Yes, they can have it. Dave says, that's why I'm not going fishing. Stephen says, okay, Roxanne for me. Wonderful, Stephen. I hope you have a fantastic time. We were just going there specifically to film something. Which I was going to send to you via messenger. A picture of what I'm going to film. A little bit of history, you know, I like research and oh, let me tell you, I went out yesterday with the Bird Group and Camera Club. And now we're like a bigger group. They go out every day. I only go out with them once a week. I can't do more than once a week, simply because, you know, they're all retired. I still work, I've got a home to look after, you know, I've got my family. So I just go out with them once a week, and they're fine about that. They're probably grateful for that anyway. So anyway, we went out. Stephen says, try again later. I will do, yeah, I'll try. Once I get home, or this evening, I'll try and do it then. Yeah, right. When you're with a bigger group of people, they all bring all these different ideas of places to go. Or if we say we're going to go to Cly, which we did, they'll say, well, let's go this way. I know a spectacular bridge. I'll lead the way, you will follow me. Perfect. That's what we all love, when somebody's got an idea, you know, makes it so much more interesting. So that's what we did. Little Hobbits. It looks like on the signpost that it says Little Hort Boys, as you'd think Great Hort Boys, but no, it's Great Hobbits, Little Hobbits. So we go there, and it's got a bridge, a really old bridge with a sentry box, brick sentry box each side of the bridge, where they used to pay the tolls to when they went over in their horse and carts or their stagecoach or whatever. They had to pay a toll to go over this bridge. It is beautiful, really, really beautiful. And while I was there, I found a walk, because SW, she's got her dogs and she takes them out every day on different walks. So I'm always, if I find a walk, I always send her the details. So I've sent her the map and everything. Little 2.5 mile walk beside the river. Stephen says, I was looking at what age I can retire yesterday. Oh, me too, Stephen. Trouble is, women used to retire at 60. Let me add, I'm not there yet. But now it's increased to 67 for women. So I'm not impressed about that. But I no longer work full time because I've got other things going on in my life now. So I just work part time. So so that's that. So I do kind of feel retired. And I love my job anyway, so I don't really feel as though I work. And doing YouTube, it's not working, is it? Making videos. David says, keep working so my pension keeps getting paid. Yes. Bob says, once you retire, all your free time is gone. Marion says, there are near riots in France about raising it to 63. Yes, I saw that, Marion. Yeah. And we just accepted it going to 67, didn't we? Mr. Phil says, and the French state pension is 50% more than the UK's. Oh, John just deleted. John's here. I thought John was shopping. John's just deleted a message. We were just chatting with Marion. Hi, John. You thought you could sneak in there, didn't you? I've told everybody you'd soon be here after you'd been to Tesco. John says, sorry, I just deleted a message. Okay. Just reword it, Marion. Oh, it was an error. Yeah, we were just discussing state pension. Marion, John has just accidentally deleted your last message. Could you retype it to us, please? Don't take it personally. He's just done his first live, Marion, so he's all of a dither, and you know what these people are like. It's very nerve-wracking when you do your first live. Marion says, oh, no worries. Which one was it? The riots one. Mr. Phil says the deleted message was about the French riots. John says, sorry, Marion, I'm all of a dither. I knew you would be. Don't take it personally, Marion. When I moderate in John's live that he did before I went live, and I had a look through, because that's the only time I am a moderator, and I was looking through seeing what I had to do if there was anything, and it's so easy to click the wrong thing, really easy. David says they are talking about postponing the rise to 68 because they say life expectancy has not gone up. What? So I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to go from 67 to 68. Oh. Mary says, oh, I won't take it personally. John says it is so easy to do that. Yes, it is. It's really easy to click the wrong thing by mistake. See, John did his first live. I went in and I'm trying to help him out, and I'm chatter, typing away all these different things, try and help him out. So anybody else who's in my live that was in his live, I won't be typing all that stuff from now on. That was just to help him out with his first live, because it is really, really scary. Mr. Phil says life expectancy is dropping for the first time ever. David says when you get to retirement age, there won't be one. No, there won't be, David. I won't get a retirement. Well, yeah, don't think I'll be getting retirement anyway. Marion says I would have been looking at early retirement once upon a time, but now still got several years to go. I know. Likewise, Marion. But I do YouTube and that keeps me going. And I've got all my subscribers who I've probably 90% of them I've never met. And they are such lovely people. Bob says I'd better not tell that I retired early on health grounds. Hello to the 9 of you here. Thank you for joining. And thank you for the 4 thumbs up on this live. Bob says finished at 65. No, 55. Bob retired at 55. I mean, my dad retired at 55, and that seems so early, but of course it was wonderful for him. David says, Bob, I hope you can still enjoy your retirement. Yes, as do I, Bob. That was a lovely thing to say, David. How's Vicky? Is she okay? Hi, Vicky, if you're watching. Bob says, oh, well, yes, busier now than when I was working. I do believe the rain is finally easing. Mr. Phil says, everybody should retire at 35 and then go back to work when they're 55. Wow, that would be good, wouldn't it? Marion says, everyone always says that they wonder how they had the time to work. That's good though, isn't it? If that's how you feel once you retire, then you're obviously doing something right, aren't you? You're doing what makes you happy. David says, Vicky is her usual. She's just returned from an Easter fair. I hope it stops raining by the time everybody takes their boats out later this afternoon. Can't be nice arriving for your holiday and it's pouring with rain. Some boats don't even have windscreen wipers. I must have told you all the time I was filming at London Bridge, it was pouring with rain, probably worse than it has excuse me, has been today. And I spotted a boat coming along and I thought, oh, I'll film that boat in the rain. And the lady was outside and I thought, what is she doing? Well, she was wiping. There was no wipers on the boat, windscreen wipers, and she was outside wiping the window in the pouring rain. I thought, how can that be so in today's 2023? How can you have to do that? David says, done that, got the t-shirt. It's not right though, is it? Did you see there's been the first call out for 2023 for the Lifeboat to rescue a cruiser? I've shared it to my Facebook page for this YouTube channel. So just look up new name, same me on Facebook. Bob says, saw that item. Thing is, because I was going out when I saw it, I just quickly shared it. I thought, oh, got to share that. But I don't know any details about it. I can't even tell you what place. Mr. Phil says, did they have to pay for the rescue? I don't think so, Mr. Phil. Bob says Lifeboat and Coast Guard were involved. Yes, I did see that bit, but I can't. Something tells me I want to say it was Reedham, but you see, I could have read something else and that said Reedham. So I'm not really sure where it happened. I don't know all the details. I'll read it this evening. It was just one of those things. I saw Hemsby Lifeboat, Norfolk Broads, and a Broads cruiser in the Reeds, and I thought, I must quickly share that before going out. Sour Gravy is here. Sour Gravy says, hello all. Thank you for joining us, Sour Gravy, on this magnificent sunny day. Mr. Phil says, it's on the island side of the Yare between Burney and Reedham. Thank you, Mr. Phil, for looking that up. Salgrave says, must have been hot there last summer. The tops of the giveaway signs melted a little. I'm not with you there. Mr. Phil says you can see the new cut pylons in the distance. Mr. Phil says, I've been aground there a number of times. Yes, I remember it saying something about running aground. Hemsby Broads Rescue, says Bob, was paged by Humber on Friday, the 31st of March, to offer assistance to a leisure cruiser on the River Yare, which had run aground near Reedham. Bob, thank you ever so much. Bob and Mr. Phil, very grateful to you both for telling us all the information so we now all know. Very much appreciated to both of you. Sour Gravy says, look at the top parts of the pole holding up the giveaway signs in front of you. I'm with you, Sour Gravy. That's very funny. Thank you for that. Bob says the vessel had 2 persons on board and a dog. They had encountered difficulties and run aground while dealing with a minor incident with the dog on board. Sour Gravy says, no, whenever you see one. Exactly. Yes, exactly. I'll be thinking, oh, Sour Gravy. Sour Gravy says, think of my name when you see planes and melted giveaway signs. Yes. There are some planes in the video I'm currently making and hoping to have ready for tomorrow. If it's not ready for tomorrow, then I really don't know what you're going to be watching. So I need to... Sour Gravy says, oh, can't wait. Yeah, there was a plane going into Norwich. I was filming at St Benet's Abbey and it flew over, and it's one of those times you think, my goodness, I can probably actually see in the windows. Very low. It was huge. Mr. Phil says the rain's back after it's lunch here. Oh, it's got heavy here too, actually. Marion says a car passed. What, in front of where I'm parked? Yeah, I'm near quite a busy area, really, yet I'm tucked out of the way safely. Goodness, we have 14 people here. Alan's just arrived. He says hi. Hi, Alan. Thank you for joining. I remember you were from John's live before mine. Marion says, yes, quite a flurry of activities suddenly. Mr. Phil says, I'll fetch some extra chairs. It's definitely a busy spot here for watching the buses go past. National Express, going to London. Mary says, I had the fun of the M25 last week. Actually remembered to pay, excuse me, the DART charge this time. And it says, I subscribed to both of you so they appeared on my feed. I hope the weather improves a bit for May time. Well, it's probably April showers, although it rained all last week, didn't it? Wasn't nice. I hope it's got to stop raining soon, hasn't it? David says, don't forget the brollies. What, to people who are going on holiday this week? Yeah. I always feel bad when they get here on holiday and it's raining. At least when I visited you and Vicky, David, I brought the sunshine with me, didn't I? Rained for the rest of your week after that. But at least I can say the day I went, I brought the glorious sunshine with me. Oh, I didn't know we've got a storm as such. Alan, I'm not sure. David says no umbrellas to go with the chairs. Here's another another brush. Another bus. And another. Oh, we could have bus watch from here, couldn't we? X11 going to Norwich. Hello to anybody who's watching this on the replay. Thank you for joining us and getting this far into the stream. John says, I'm now home and it's dry in Norwich. How can you be that close to here and it's not raining? That's really not fair. David says, this time I don't know where you are. I can't have been there much. Anna says, it's dry up here near Manchester Airport. Looks like it's here down to Bungay. Mary says, yeah, dry in Oldham too. Gosh, you had a long trip if you went down to the M25, Marion. I know there's one thing I can safely say, I won't ever drive on the M25. I'm not a fan of driving. Oh, further than that, Disneyland Paris. Oh, wow. I wish I enjoyed driving more than I do. But you see, then when I do have to go somewhere out of my comfort zone, I can do it. And I think, what is my problem? I really don't know. John says, the rain is bizarre. I know, it is. And Sour Gravy says, the M25 is a car park. Because they're always stationary. Who's tooting at who? There's nobody to toot at. And my location should be off, so it can't be somebody driving past and just tooting because they know we're live. Stephen says the M25 is a nightmare. Thank you, Stephen. I'm glad you agree. Alan says the roads are a lot better quality in Europe and nice to drive on. Now, bizarre, I know I say this every time, but bizarre as it is, I don't know anybody who likes the NDR around Norwich, the Northern Distributor Road. Everybody hates it. I love it. I'm the only one. Mary says it wasn't too bad apart from the Dartford Tunnel on the way back. See, I'd love to go to Scotland and do it. Is it the N500? John says I had a spade bounce past my car on the M25. Oh, NC 500. Thank you, Mr. Phil. Thank you. I got the N bit right. North Coast. I'd love to do that. I really would. Mr. Phil would prefer to drive around the Isle of Man. Stephen wants to do the NC 500. David says, never been on the NDR, only passed over when it was being constructed. I like the NDR. And I know why. Because it's just roundabouts. No slip roads. It's set out nice and easy. Yes, Marion, it is the one with the overhead back crossings. Bob says, the thing I hate about the M25 is the fact it is a smart motorway, no hard shoulder. Mr. Phil says, I'm a fan of the NDR, except for the drivers who don't understand road markings on roundabouts. Yes. I don't like the bit at Posick, Mr. Phil, where you don't stop to go onto the roundabout, you just keep going in your lane. That messes with my head. But I do it, but it's better than a slip road, isn't it? Mr. Phil says, I got lost there the first couple of times at Posick. It's very easy to get lost at Posick. You've just got to remember it's the second turning, not the first. Well, unless you want the first, not the second. David says, used to use the Norwich Ring Road, but now avoid Norwich like the plague. Alan says, nothing smart about those motorways. All because the government won't invest in new infrastructure. I used to use the Ring Road as well, David. And then when I used to think I knew my way around Norwich pretty well. But then when I went and stayed in Norwich for 2-3 nights to do some filming in Norwich, trying to get around, I thought, oh my goodness, it's years since I've driven in Norwich. And I did it somehow. I really don't know how, but I did do it. But I decided it's easier when the traffic's slow. It's easy peasy, isn't it? Because you've got plenty of time to see what road you want to be on. So I didn't actually mind. I couldn't drive around Norwich every day, though. Mr. Phil says, all those electric scooters, oh, they're dreadful. Stephen says, I've been all the way around the M25 in one go as I missed my turn, and it was quicker to go around again than go back. Sorry, Stephen, I shouldn't laugh at that, but that is funny. Sarah's here. Thanks for joining, Sarah. David says, only broke down on the motorway once and Vicky was terrified. Well, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago nearly, my son, he has a van for work, and something went wrong with his van, and he was on the A47 near Acle, and he'd managed to get over to the slip road and pull in on the side, so he wasn't blocking the lane. Stephen says, I still laugh at my mistake. Oh, these things, they see, I'd be no good. Although it's easier when you have sat-nav going. So we drove over and sat with my son while he was waiting for the AA to come and get him, who, I have to say, arrived pretty quick, really. And I was horrified at the speed, not only that the cars were going along the A47, but the ones coming down the slip road. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And then, of course, because I'm on the slip road, I then have to get onto the A47 because you can't go up the slip road. So I had to join the A47. And I thought, I'm going to go turn left at the first possible place and go around Lingwood and Strumpshire, or Strumpshire as the locals say, and where else did I go? Blowfield, Bayton, and then joined the part of the slip road that you can, and into Acle. Cantley, I didn't actually drive over as far as Cantley, but that direction, yeah. It's so fast. You don't realise, when you're driving, you don't realise how fast the traffic actually goes. More buses. Hello to all 18 of you that are here, and thank you for the 8 likes on this live stream. It's very much appreciated. In the pouring rain especially. And I know it's not a very exciting view, but in the pouring rain, we're not going to get a view anywhere, are we? Mr. Phil says 18, we're going to have to get a bigger teapot. We are, definitely. Sour Gravy says, not at all. Thank you for hosting, given the weather. Thank you, Sour Gravy. Laurie's here. Hi, Lisa. I like the sound of the rain on a car. It makes you feel cosy. I love the sound of rain on a tent. When you're inside, all zipped up. Shirley's here. Is it nice and warm in the car? It is, Shirley. It was so warm, I had to take my jacket off earlier. It's easing again now. And then probably 5 minutes time, it'll be trying to rain again. We could clean the windscreen, but I don't think we're actually going to achieve much. Oh, he says, have you got your flask of coffee and cake? Excuse me, no cake, but I don't know if I'll be able to do this. I do have my flask. And I did that. I had coffee at the beginning. Yes. And let's see if I can show you what my mug said. I've got a new mug. Let's see. Can you see? What does that say? Fantastic Grandma. See, I really am that old. Miss Phil says, I thought it was a spaceship landing. Alan says, always time for coffee. Absolutely. Stephen says, nice flask. My son got me this one. I did get, I showed you all in a recent video when I was down at Cold Harbour, a big flask that one of my subscribers kindly got me for Christmas. And I do use that. And my son got me this one for Mother's Day. So I'm very pleased with all of them, and I'm sure I will take them both out at once. I wasn't going to be out very long, so I thought, well, the little one's enough for what I need today. Laurie says, oh, that's a nice mug. I know. Jeff is here. Jeff says, it should say dizzy. Dizzy Grandma. You're right, Jeff. Got me sussed. Shelley says, I enjoyed your late night vlog home from Yarmouth down the Acle Strait after your McDonald's near Asda. Was that the night we saw the fox? It ran in front of the car. Well, you know, it didn't run in front of the car. It ran along the edge of the verge and went into the ditch. Thank you, Shirley, for watching. Mr. Phil, oh, wait a minute. There you are, Mr. Phil. Stephen says, I collect mugs. Do you, Stephen? Well, I was thrilled that my grandsons got me this for Mother's Day. This fantastic grandma mug. Oh yeah, no, Mr. Oh, you want the wipers again? I don't know. There we go. One of my grandsons, he's in what is it? He's in cadets. I can't think exactly what. Anyway, it's probably best not to say exactly. So they're raising funds for their cadet group today. I'm walking from Cromer to Winterton over today and tomorrow. That's so many miles in all this rain. So I think my girls are going to go and stand at part of the route and cheer him on as he goes past. Oh. Oh, God. Can't, you know, just can't do it right. You're welcome, Stephen. I'm not going to be on here for ages today because I have a long video to make for tomorrow. And all I've done is put the clips together. I haven't done voiceover or anything yet. It's all very time consuming. I don't mind that it's time consuming, but it's just I need it to be ready for tomorrow. I've got another video which is for my second channel, and it's wildlife. That's taking forever because I was going through and I've been writing on the screen what every single duck and goose and bird and whatever is, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So I think I might have to revert back to not saying what they are on the screen. Just, we all appreciate Sir Stephen. Oh, thank you, Stephen. No one ever believes me when I say this, but it's reckoned it takes, for every minute of footage, there's an hour of editing. Because you think of the times you watch it, you alter it, you watch it back, and then when you do the next bit, you play the bit you've just done, and then the next bit you've just done together to make sure it flows right, and then you do a bit more, and then you play it back through again just to check it's okay, and then you think, oh well, that bit doesn't really flow, or I've said it different in a different tone of voice, so you redo it and you play it back again. Maybe I'm just too fussy, but that's how it is. Sometimes I go out in the car to do my editing, because when you're at home, if there's lots of people at home, you know, they're chatting, or obviously, because that's what home life's like, isn't it? Or they might be on their phone. Laurie says you must have a lot of patience. I think I do when it comes to YouTube, because you're out hours filming as well. Out in all weathers filming. I do enjoy it though. You'll never hear me moan about YouTube. Laurie says we enjoy it too. Oh, Laurie, thank you. I just try to find all the different places that people might like to visit when they're here on holiday. And I've done the immediate ones now, so I'm just going out off the Broads area slightly. I know not everybody likes the wildlife, which is why I put it on a different channel. I totally get that, although I adore them, and I know a lot of people do adore them as well, because if you sit long enough and watch them, they've all got funny ways. Like, they'll all be asleep and they all sleep together in their little groups. The teal sleep together, the greylegs will sleep together, you know, all their little things. And then you've got the lapwing in a different area, and they're all dozing, having a siesta. And then suddenly one of them decide, right, we're going to go and get a drink, or we're going to go in the water and have a preen. So they get up and they're walking a straight line down to the water, one behind the other, and they just look so comical. That's why I love the wildlife, all their funny little ways. Or I think I've told you this story already, the egret up at Titchwell. Now is it Titchwell? Or am I saying, sometimes I call it the gardener's surname. Dave's here. Afternoon all. Good afternoon, Dave. Thank you for joining us. I'm just saying why I like the wildlife, Dave. Anyway, wherever I was, over in the reeds was an egret, a little egret. And anything that goes near him gets shooed off. It's his piece of water, They're his reeds, his food that's in the water or might be in the water. So look out, anybody who goes near him, he's going to chase them off, and he does. And I film all that. Well, lo and behold, in comes a spoonbill and lands in the water right near where the egret is. So the egret stands his ground and he puts up with the spoonbill. He's got his bill in under the water and he's going backwards and forwards trying to sift through and filter out whatever food he wants. And then the spoonbill gets near the big brave little egret, and the little egret runs away and hides in the reeds because he's scared of the spoonbill. Well, you see, now that to me is just adorable, and I was lucky enough to capture that all on film, and that's why I like the wildlife, because they all do funny things, they've got funny ways, and they're just adorable. And the more you watch them, the more you see. Dave says, my favourite wildlife are the laughing ducks of Salhouse Broad. Now, when you go to North Norfolk, along the coastline, up there, you don't see them down here, but up there are some black geese called Brent geese. Now, it seems nobody else thinks the same as I do, but I think they're like honking noise, sounds like dogs barking sometimes. So I love them because of that noise. And when I filmed them coming into land, so there'll be a huge flock of them. So the first ones land, and then the ones coming in next, they fly past those ones that have just landed, and they land in front of them. And then the next ones behind, they land in front of those ones, and so on and so on. I mean, that's so clever. How have they learnt to do that? It's really intelligent. And you look at the size of their heads. They have tiny, tiny brains because their heads are so small. There was a stork recently. After I'd given up trying to find the eyed duck in Lowestoft, I then heard there was a stork at Kessingland, but I didn't know the location given, because you never get told the exact location. You've got to try and work it out yourself when it comes to birds, and that's fair enough because that's all done for a reason. And so I didn't go to Kessingland. Next thing I know, it's along the Acle Strait in the marshes. So I think, oh, I can do that. Dave says, I was once moored at St Benet's Abbey, and I'm sure I heard a herd of cows mooing. You probably did, because there's a farm at the top of the track to St Benet's Abbey that used to have a herd of cows, and they would be grazing out on the marshes at St Benet's Abbey. But I haven't seen them there lately, and the farm looks as though it's closed now, so you would have heard the cows. David says, a bit like trying to find you. Absolutely. Laurie says, it's the herons that surprise me. Everybody thinks they're so quiet. That is until they're fighting with each other. Then they're so noisy. And they squawk, don't they, when they're flying. I like herons. I do like herons, and I like the little egrets and the spoonbills. Sarah says, I love it at St Benet's, probably my favourite mooring spot. Yes, I like the marshes there because there's so much wildlife. Anyway, the stork along the marshes at the Acle Strait, I didn't realise it was only somewhere like 24 hours. So Kessingland to the Stracy marshes, 24 hours later, off it goes to Waitrose at Eton in Norwich. So I don't know where it is now. I lost track of it after that. But on its way back, it does the exact same route. So I will get photos. One day I will get photos of it, hopefully anyway. So how clever is that? That it's got all its favourite stopping off points. Dave says, "I'm right, I wasn't aware of the farm. I was a bit confused. I think it was back in 27. Yeah, the cows would have probably been around then, but sadly not now." Dave says, "Vicky doesn't like St Bennett's. She says it's spooky." I like St Bennett's. With all this rain that we've had recently, the ancient fishing ponds are full of water again, and they're there from the time that, you know, it was the monastery with the monks using the fishing ponds, so they're full of water again. Sarah says, "And then there's me, probably have my ashes there." And then it will be spooky. When I'm out filming, that's something not for a while yet. No, Sarah, no, you've got a lot more boating holidays to have yet. When I'm out filming, that's probably the thing I see most. People distributing ashes either in the river or beside a bridge or a mooring where they always seem to moor up, their favourite spots. I do see that an awful lot. And it's lovely that, you know, their loved ones have brought them back to scatter their ashes. And then I was speaking to one couple, because the lady said to me afterwards, she said, "We just sprinkled some ashes." I wasn't even aware that they did that. And she said, I think she said it was her husband first, and then they were just scattering the ashes off the dog so that the dog was with her husband. Oh. Mr. Phil says, oh, wait a minute. Dave says, "I took a brilliant photo at sunset when moored on the end mooring at St Bennett's. There was a guy on the footpath trying to take a photo, but I think I got a better photo from the back of the boat." Mr. Phil says, "I did the ashes thing once at Horsey Mere. Had to get permission from John Buxton, the owner." Sarah says, "It's great for pictures at St Bennett's and easy to moor up." John says, "I saw two ladies do that a couple of weeks ago at Ludden Bridge." John, that's the exact same bridge that I was on about, but the man and the dog. I wonder if it's the same people. And that was two ladies. Obviously, I'm always very discreet if I can see what's happening and I walk away or look away or, you know, switch my camera off, and I try to walk away if possible. I've seen people put flowers in the beach, on Caister Beach, and I don't think they realised that the tide was coming in at the time, so no matter how hard they were throwing their flowers out to sea, they kept coming back onto the beach. Alan says, we're scattering half of a friend when we pass over Braden Water in May. Some of him is going to Scotland as well. Alan, that's a lovely thing to do. Dave says, the photo actually won me tickets to the London Boat Show in 2018. Oh, fantastic. Laurie says, do you usually no, you don't, Laurie, you don't need permission. Just that Horsey Mere is privately owned, so that's why you need permission for there. Mr. Phil says, only if it's private water. That's right. But it's very common now. I bet you'd be surprised how many bring ashes to the Broads to scatter them. SW is here. Good afternoon, Lisa, and everyone else who is watching. Thanks for joining us, SW. SW, did you see the map and information I sent you? Dave says, I've just remembered the scene from Only Fools and Horses when they're trying to scatter ashes in the River Thames. David says, where do the ashes end up when they dredge? I imagine they're long gone out to sea before the dredging. SW says, where are we today? We're on a roundabout, SW. Well, just off a roundabout, actually. Near the A47. I've got my location switched off. But it's very popular with buses. We've had the bus going to London. It's National Express, I think. So it's very busy. It's as though they're doing bus tours to come past here. SW says, you look like you're lurking. All above board, SW. David says he wants his ashes mixed with ground bait and fed to the fish. Sarah says, I've seen them do ashes at sea and it blow back at the person. I'd have to lower it in the water. Yes. Bob says, have we lost Lisa? I'm here. Can anybody else not see me? I am here. SW says, I shall go for medical research if they will have me. So much cheaper. Oh, that's an idea, SW. Sarah says, go to the sea. Dave says, they used to do a National Express down to Norwich from Sheffield. The train's a bit quicker, though. Mary says, you went, but a quick refresh got you back. Oh, sorry about that. Sarah says, I'm tight with money. Oh no, SW, sorry. Sorry, SW. I saw the S and my brain said Sarah. Bob lost me as well. Oh, sorry everybody. Nothing happened on my screen, so I wasn't aware. That's a very good idea, SW. SW says, I'm fine over here for a change. Reception is good so far. Rain is coming down heavier again now. Bob says, I'm going to Upton Boat Dyke with my dog when it's my time. Oh, I did see like a funeral service at the end of the dike. I didn't film the people, obviously, but I did film the flowers floating in the water after they'd left, but not until they'd totally away, because the flowers wouldn't go. They just kept, you know, staying at the end of the dike, kind of going round in a circle. Alice says that will be us. Sarah says, had a good time in Whitby, had an RAF Hercules fly past the lighthouse at cliff height. I nearly spilt my tea looking out the window. I should think you did. I should think the pilot waved to you, didn't he? I had a Hercules fly over my house and garden. What day are we today? Earlier in the week. And we just left and we're going out onto the main road. And Emily said, look! And it was on its side. Oh my goodness. No time to take a photo or anything. Dave says, I love the sound of rain, especially when you're on a boat. Stephen lost me too. Oh, I'm very sorry. I really wasn't aware. Hello to all 17 of you in here now. Oh my goodness. Thank you for joining on this very wet, horrible, rainy day. And thank you for the 12 likes on this live stream. Very much appreciated. John, are you still here? Yes, here he is. John does YouTube as well, my moderator for my lives. And he did his very first live right before I went live. I don't know where. Oh, he was at Ludden Bridge. And there weren't many boats. There was just the Ranger boat while I was there in the live. But if you follow him, you'll see when he goes live, and he'll show you the rivers wherever he is. SW says, still having problems speaking. Yes, I do occasionally, SW. I think it seems to happen if I speak quickly, it happens more than if I try and speak slower. SW says, I'll have to check out Johnny's live. Yes. It's always very stressful when you do your first live. The more you do, the easier they are. Now I don't think anything of them. But to begin with, John says, I've made it available to view. There you are, everybody. SW says, I guess the first couple of lives are hard, but must become more natural. Yes, it takes time, but you do get there. Stephen says, our family dog's ashes are placed in the coffin with my mum. Oh, Stephen, that's so lovely. Another bus for those of you who are bus spotting. Oh, I couldn't see its number. I tried to look for it. Excuse me. Cough, cough, cough. Well, I think I need to think about going because, as I said earlier, I've still got my video to make for tomorrow. I've put the different clips together, but I haven't done any voiceover on it. And so that's going to take me a while, and I've got tea to make. So Laurie says, what does your husband think about your hobby with YouTube? Oh, I've got low battery, 20%. And he is totally okay with it. He's probably watching this live, Laurie, but he never speaks on it or, you know, types anything. But he does watch, and he watches all my videos. And he's just happy out. He's happy I'm out doing what I enjoy. Bob says, you probably had more buses go past you today than there are in Norwich bus station. You're probably right, Bob. SW says, you mean they've not done tea for you? Well, Emily loves cooking, and she and I cook together. She's a great help. And she does, I prepare everything and she cooks it. We're a great team. Whether we're doing cakes or a main meal, whatever we do, or the smoothies we do, as her, she loves doing the smoothies. Yeah, she cooks them all. SW says, oh, shared responsibilities then. Yes. You're probably right, Dave. Dave says it's because you're not at home telling him to do stuff. As if I would. So, Mr. L, if you are listening to this and watching, or Emily, put the kettle on because I'm going to be home very soon. SW says, I would let Mr. L and Emily do tea today. Mr. L needs us to make tea for him now, unfortunately. Mr. L isn't very well, so we look after him. Or we try to. He might tell you otherwise. Laurie says, tell him we all want a cuppa. All right, I'll tell him. He'll make you all one. David says, Vicky, Charlie and myself take turns in making dinner, but I don't do the washing up. SW says, oh yes, I would love to do a tea. Stephen's having takeaway for tea. Well, that sounds great, Stephen. But I've got into, I sometimes post on TikTok. Who on here has TikTok? I might change your life now. I've got into all the recipes on TikTok. And hi.
Right.
Yes, fine, thank you.
Right, the reason I'm here is just a bit of an unusual spot to be parked up in. I was making sure everything's alright.
Oh, I do YouTube. And I'm chatting, I'm doing a live with my subscribers.
Oh, really?
So I'm parked up in here because it's pouring rain.
Yeah.
So, and I'll show you. So, can somebody in the live say something so I can just show the policeman that I'm okay? Please. Just takes a few minutes for the delay.
What's your channel for?
YouTube, it's just Norfolk Broads.
Okay.
Do you want my username?
That's fine. No, I was just curious as to what it was about.
Yeah, no, Norfolk Broads. So prior to here, I was filming down at Reading, but it's chucking it down with rain.
It's not the best weather, I suppose, to film, is it?
No. So usually at weekend I go live and just chat to my subscribers. Got a great bunch of subscribers.
Well, I'll leave you on to enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
When you said just know this area quite well. Sometimes cars parked up here, sometimes up to good, so I just thought I'd come and see what's going on.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely fair enough.
Right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, and you. Bye. Oh, thanks, John. Well, that's a first, isn't it? We've not had that before. Sarah says, don't arrest Lisa. She's not crazy, but we are, says Dave. David says it's a nice policeman. He was very nice. Very nice indeed. Just wanted to know if I was all right, I think. And what was I doing? I must look suspicious. John says my heart was in my mouth for a second. I think once I spoke to him, told him exactly what I was doing, and I turned the screen and showed him. He was fine. I suppose it does. I don't know. How long have I been here? 90 minutes. He asked if I was okay, didn't he? So he was very nice. Sal Gravy says that's a new one, police car spotting. Ben thinks it's hilarious. Dave says they probably recognised you from the hospital the other week. Oh dear. Wait till I tell my family when I go home. But I did have the 20% battery come up. SW says the big lay-by on the Norwich side of Wroxham has a bad reputation. Ooh. Well, I turned my screen around so he could see. He didn't really want to look. I think he was just concerned if I was all right or not. Did you get that impression? They can join us. Yes. Yeah. Can you subscribe and join us? Oh, cut some of the trees down. Oh, isn't that funny? Better to be checked out just in case there is anything wrong. Absolutely, SW. You know, I've got nothing to hide, have I? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm parked up. You know, I'm off the main road. And you all heard what I said to him. But he was very polite, very nice. Sargrave says he'll be telling all the other police people at the station. I know. Many new members, or I don't know about that. Are there any residents that are called to them? I don't think so. I don't think I can be seen really in here. I don't know. SW says we'll be character witnesses. Right, well, my battery thing came up saying I was low battery. So I'm going to go and tell my family JTB says safer on your own drive. Yes. Dave says might be in the bus drivers that's called pay. I wouldn't have thought so, no. Sarah, duck food. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm pleased he came and asked if I was okay. That's the main thing. Was I all right? Was everything okay? Well, he sounded friendly. He was friendly, Stephen. Yeah, he was very nice. Yes. I asked, did he want my channel name? He didn't. He didn't want to know. But I suppose it's chucking it down with rain. I've been in here a while. I could have broken down, couldn't I? And he's just doing a safety check on me. He's just doing his job. Evening all. Oh dear. Right, everybody. Just doing his job. I mean, you weren't on double yellows. No. I'm not even blocking the road because he got past quite easily. SWs, you didn't have too many of us in your car by any chance? Oh, how funny. That is funny. Oh, dearie me. Stephen says, bye Lisa, bye all. Thank you all for joining me on this very funny live. We've probably SW says, bye Lisa, everyone else. Dave, just you and 15 people sat in the car. That's right, Dave. I'm glad you're all here with me. You watch, I won't go live for a while now. Rain now arrived. Oh, wonderful. I'm so pleased for you, David. Right, I'm going to go. Take care of yourselves. Change the stream title to include the police and viewer numbers will go up. Thank you, Sour Gravy. I might do that. That did cross my mind, actually. Yeah, I'll do that once I'm home. I think I need to leave here. Well, I got low battery anyway, so I'm going to go and do that. Great minds, absolutely, sour gravy. John says, "By your lie," says, you're not live this down now with your husband if he sees it. I know. As soon as I get in, I'll know if they've seen it or not. We need to find a different location next time. I'll have to think where we can go. I shouldn't laugh. It isn't funny. But as I keep saying, I'm very grateful that he came and checked I was okay. Thank you all. I'll see you again soon in the next live. Take care of yourselves. Thanks, sour gravy. Bye all. Take care.